All right, I just wanted to do a quick video on clocking a turbo on these trucks. It really applies to just about any turbo out there. These heavy-duty turbos, they tend to leak at the V-band clamp, the big clamp that goes around here. You spray soapy water on it, and you're able to see sometimes this clamp leaking. So clamp goes around here like so, it goes through there, and there's a nice, usually it's a nylon style bolt that holds it together. If you need this clamp, all right, this is a Cummins only part, even though it's a Volvo with a D12 in it. Okay, that's the part number right there. Y is in yellow, L is in look, 3529852. And I believe it's a 5 1/4 diameter. And I guess the reason why they leak is they get rust, or they get stuff inside of here maybe, or maybe even it stretches. So anyway, installing a new one, obviously you're gonna have to take off your intake, and you've got your turbo here. The front part of this turbo will come off. Once you take this off, you can actually loosen it and slide it off the front of the turbo here, this clamp. It'll just slide off the front. And then you'll have to take off these two bolts. There's one here, and there's one over here, and there's one bolt on the bottom of this pipe that is right there. And this lower intercooler pipe will come down, okay? You'll probably have to take a screwdriver and ply this out. It's a little center green piece here. There's 2 O-rings on this. I recommend replacing those. They're about $5 each. And so once you get up here to your specialty Cummins only bracket, they're about $50–$55. And it does not come with that bolt, so make sure you get a bolt while you're down there. Otherwise, you're just gonna be fucked. So get the correct bolt, and apply this the same way it came off. You will have to probably clock your turbo. You want this piece to line up as good as possible. This tab in the back of this turbo, it's completely touching in the back. And down here, there's no gap. You don't want a gap. You want this piece to be as close as possible to your turbo here. So in order to do that, sometimes you have to clock the turbo, meaning this turbo here, once this bracket's off, you tap it with a little rubber mallet or a plastic mallet, and this whole piece will come off. It will get in the way of right here, so what you have to do is take the turbo, the front piece here, and spin it all the way until it gets over here by the V, okay? And this part's much more narrow. Up here it's thick, and it's narrow here. So when you spin it around, it'll slide right through here. And that's how you can take that off without taking this bolt off. There will be a little bit of a clearance issue with this. Sometimes you gotta file it down a little bit with a file. You'll turn the turbo this way. This piece will be over here, and you just file it down. And you could rotate it past that bolt if you need to. Sometimes you don't have to. And the reason why you would take this off is so you can inspect your turbine, make sure there's no play, in, out, left, right, up, down. And you can look in there and see, if it's still good and whatnot. So once you get past, playing and inspecting and whatnot, you're gonna put this back on, okay? This V-band clamp. And when you put it on, you're not going to tighten it super tight. It only needs like 15 pounds of torque. So the trick that I found, all right, you put this on, you get it kind of snug, all right, so it's not moving around. Take a hammer, and right here on the end, you tap it with a hammer, okay? You go like that, boom, you tap it. And then it's gonna clamp down. It's gonna bite even harder. And then you tighten it up a little bit more, then you tap it again, and it's going to form a pretty good clamp on there to ensure that it doesn't leak out the back. And An extra added thing you can do is once you take this off, you can add a light amount of silicone sealant gasket maker, the high temp one, like 750 plus, to around that area when you put it on. You're going to need about 24 hours to let it cure and let it dry. You can do that. Some people also use grease. You can use grease, like white grease, and it will form the seal in there. And once dirt and whatnot gets in there, it'll form a pretty good seal. I did silicone just because, fuck it, why not? To each their own. Everyone can do whatever they want. The trick I found to getting this on, once you get your pipe and everything back aligned, leave the bottom bolt down there completely out, all right? And so you're gonna use WD-40 or Pea Blaster. You're gonna spray this up real good, all right? You'll slide it on this bottom pipe first. This green piece, you'll slide on the chrome piece on the bottom. You'll slide it down, get it on there real good. And then you're gonna pry it up into your turbo, and you're gonna make sure that your turbo is aligned properly. And then you're gonna slide your bolts in, and you're gonna continually make sure that it's sealed, all right? You don't want a gap down here, and you want the smallest gap up here you can get. This was as close that I can get right here on mine. It was as close as I can get. It's decent. The other side, back in the back, it's completely touching the turbo. The front side, it's a little off, but it should form a good seal. So that's how I'm gonna do it, and it shouldn't have any issues. Yeah, so WD-40, get it in there. You could even take a little sandpaper, clean it up so that it goes in easily. That's about it. The sealer that I used, where the fuck is it? Somewhere around here. This stuff right here. 700 degrees is what the package said, which is also pretty close by. Boom. Yeah, 75 or negative 65. You know, so should be good. We'll see. Worst case scenario, you know, I'll be back out here doing it again, but I don't think there'll be an issue. So there we go. If you guys have any issues or need some help, or you know, drop a comment, and I'll do my best to try to help you out. Take it easy, ladies and gentlemen.